This video is going to demonstrate how to use the table of contents feature in InDesign CS6. I have open a book document of a piece of fiction that I designed for a friend a little while ago, and I've replaced the text actually with just some filler text. I did that because previously we would do this as an in-class assignment, and I didn't have permission from him to, see if he wanted me to really distribute his book for free. So I replaced that text anyway. I left in the chapter headings, and I've also added in just a couple of dummy subheads so that I can demonstrate how to use this feature. The key to making this work is to have your paragraph styles applied uniformly. So every chapter heading that I should have the same paragraph style applied, and in this case it's just my paragraph style called chapter title. And I've done that consistently throughout the entire document. So what I'm going to do is go up to the page in my InDesign file that I have set for my table of contents. Now I've already typed the word contents here. You don't have to do that. And in fact, InDesign will automatically put the word contents in there for you. So rather than, well, we'll just take that out. Why don't we demonstrate the entire thing here? So I'm going to have my cursor on this page where I have my table of contents or that I've designated for my table of contents. I'll come up to my layout menu and select table of contents, and it pulls up this table of contents dialog box. Now this top section here, I can title it. I can call it table of contents, just contents. I prefer just the word contents, and I can assign a paragraph style for the word contents as it will appear on this page here in my actual book. So let's make that look just like our chapter headings, and we'll see what that looks like. So I'm just going to make that the word contents look like all the rest of my chapter titles. Now here I can assign certain I can assign text from my document to show up in my table of contents based on the paragraph style that's applied to it. So remember that I had used this chapter title paragraph style uniformly for all of my chapter titles. So I'm going to select that in this other styles list and then click this add button so that it shows up in my include paragraph styles list. And then I showed you I also have those dummy subheads in my text also. This is helpful if you're doing more like a textbook or some kind of more technical document where you're going to have subheads and things like that that you want to include in the table of contents. So I'll select that from my other styles list here and add it as well. Now I'm going to come back and select chapter title, and when I do, I can apply some elements to the way that the text that's pulled into my table of contents from, the text that has the chapter title paragraph style applied to it throughout the text will be pulled into my table of contents, and then it will be styled with whatever styles I define down here. In other words, I don't necessarily want all of my text, my chapter titles to look just like this in this kind of, kitschy, pirate font. When they're actually in my table of contents, I want them to be readable. So I'm going to click on chapter title here. The entry style, I'm going to create a new paragraph style for this, and I'm going to call it just TOC, or table of contents, and let's make it Arno Pro 11/14. So really all I'm doing is just mimicking my body text paragraph. I'm going to set a right tab stop here all the way to the edge of my page. Now notice that when I do this and see how I'm clicking around and up above in my page, it shows me where that tab is going to be. I want that right tab stop to go all the way to my margin there. So I'll stop there. Now that's going to make it so that my page numbers align all the way to this right hand margin. And then I'll just let that be just like that. So I have my table of contents there. My page number is going to appear after my entry. You can make it be before or no page number, and then you can also assign a certain character style to the page number if you want that to look different from your actual text, so that's pretty cool. You can also assign a different character besides a tab to show between the chapter name and the chapter number. I prefer a tab because then I can style it so that it goes all the way to the edge of my margin and it aligns very nicely. Okay, so I'll do that, and then I'll go to subhead and I will create a new paragraph style to show how that will look. And I'm actually going to call it TOC2, and I'm going to base it on this TOC paragraph style that I had before. So we'll go Arno Pro well, let's make it look slightly different. Let's go italic, and we'll do the same size, 11/14, but I want to indent it a little bit. So let's do a left indent of, let's say, 0p10. And then I'm also going to tab that right tab all the way over to my right margin, and it looks like my tab stop is there already, so that's good. We'll hit OK, and I will leave everything else the same. Now there are some other options here that we won't really cover, but by default you can have PDF bookmarks created, which is handy if you will be exporting to a PDF. If you have an existing table of contents, you can replace that. So I'll hit OK, and that should populate my table of contents there. So that was easy and slick. Notice that it pulled in the word contents with that paragraph style called chapter title. And then here, let me zoom in here. You can see that I have just my regular table of contents font here, and my tab stop that takes my page numbers all the way over to my margin. Now the reason that this says 01 is because I have my document page numbers set in different sections. So I actually have from page 1 to 4 the style 01, 02, 03, 04, and then I have for my preface Roman numeral I, Roman numeral double I, and then I have another section where I actually start with Arabic numerals. So it's pulling those in. If you don't like that, you can just manually remove items if you like. So even though you've done it dynamically, you can still manually make some changes there and make a nice table of contents that looks exactly the way you want it. Now if you were to go in and change some things in your document, like let's say we just totally erased, well, we did just erase, well no, let's say we totally erased the preface here. So you can see I have the preface showing up in my table of contents. What if I said, okay, I don't want that to be in my book anymore. I'm going to get completely rid of that. I can delete it, and then what I will do is go up again to my layout menu, and I don't know why that's grayed out. I must have to have my cursor clicked inside my table of contents there, and then I will select Update Table of Contents, and now that preface has been removed. So it's a nice feature and will certainly come in handy for those of you who plan to do longer books for your book project.